Welcome to the Nifty Chicks and this week's episode of the Nifty News. In this episode, we talk about the heavy hitter Fox Corporation getting into the blockchain and NFT action, Boss Beauty's next big move, the crackdown on celebrity shilling, Opensea's new policy for stolen NFTs, and a major rebrand for the leader in fractional ownership. Let's do this.
Welcome back, Jen FT.
Thank you so much. I had so much fun, but honestly, I am so glad to be back.
I bet. And so you're back, and now I'm leaving.
I know. It was tough. It was tough living out of a suitcase for the last seven weeks. I honestly can't complain because it was so great, but and I sound so petty, but it's just not for me. Like I need home time. I need kind of like organizational time.
Right.
But I'm so excited for your travels. You've got a lot going on coming up, and I'm so excited to hear all about it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm excited. I'm super excited to go. We were just talking about the packing and the living out of suitcase. I'm not thrilled about, but no matter what, it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and dive into the news. Exciting stuff going on in the world of NFTs. So I thought this article was especially fitting considering we just interviewed Stoner Cats, and I feel like Fox is, one of the first mainstream media outlets to get into NFTs, and I think it'll be interesting for Stoner Cats and just to see what happens in the world of, mainstream media.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Fox is a little bit known to be a bit more conservative and a little bit kind of behind the kind of trend line a little bit. And so for them to be getting into this space, I think is exciting to see. There's some really cool nuances about what they're trying to do that ties exactly what you just said onto the Stoner Cats platform of really offering the opportunity for consumers to actually own a piece of their favorite TV show, which like who doesn't want, especially for those people who have found a TV show that like they absolutely love.
Right.
If some segments like Friends, do you remember Friends? Like there were just people who loved Friends. Can you imagine being able to own a piece of that show? I think is super cool, just like Stoner Cats.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many. I see in here like Bob's Burgers. And my boyfriend is a huge Bob's Burgers fan. Like, I know, I mean, really, you think about any of the shows out there, the fact, like you said, Friends, I mean, Seinfeld, any of those that you would be able to own part of it, that would be super cool, I think.
Yeah. And it's not that they're just, investing in the space. They're preparing to invest $100 million. They're putting some, beef behind this. And so I think that's, that's their way of going, probably not at all in, considering they have far more than that to spend. But they're definitely putting some serious cash behind kind of the initiatives and this kind of space as a whole.
Right. And I see Dan Harmon is a part of this. And I feel like everything that guy does is pretty much a success. So
yeah, turns the gold.
It's going to be really interesting. So
yeah,
this next article I found, Boss Beauties, which is, one of our favorite projects, and hopefully we will be getting Lisa Meyer on soon to talk about the project. But they have signed with WME in an exclusive deal. And so I don't know, Jen FT, if you've been following since, you've been traveling so much, but Boss Beauties is, I believe next week there's going to be a fusion and you get to turn your Boss Beauty into a superhero.
I love that. I mean, look at those Boss Beauties up at the top. Look at those images. Yeah. Those are, and I recognize like all of them. I love the football one. Just absolutely think that the artwork is amazing. And then for them to kind of turn this into like kind of the next stage and bring them alive like this, I think is so cool. And, you know, so it's kind of similar to what Fame Ladies did with, you know, their kind of transformation into kind of making these NFTs alive.
The
this
AI
is
with
Alethea.
Alethea.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool to see them kind of take, and I like that, you know, projects right now we're in the whole market and the whole environment is a little bit kind of doom and gloom, right? In some ways. But I like how some of these kind of leaders like Boss Beauties are taking this time to kind of really shape and evolve what like 2.0 looks like. And so it's, I think, a great opportunity, and I'm excited to see how it evolves over time.
Agreed. So this article, celebrities are getting warning letters about shilling NFTs, which I say it's about time.
Yeah, we've talked about this, and celebrities have a power. They just do. And maybe themselves aren't physically powerful, but the community and the following that they have is super powerful. And they have the power to, you know, manipulate things. They have the power to influence things and people, thousands, millions of people. And so it's about time. You know, we've seen these, you know, celebrities. That's a list of them right down the screen.
Yeah.
Celebrities who are kind of big in the NFT space, kind of, you know, flapping their wings and talking about shilling all these projects. And you never really know, are they getting paid for that? And if so, like, does that matter? And so it's nice for someone to be coming down. It's an agency who's coming down on them, stating that like they need to be transparent about whether they're going to be getting paid for anything that they're shilling.
Yeah. And I mean, you think, like, we've talked about this before too. It's interesting, some of these names that are up here, because like I remember, I can't remember which project it was, but I remember like Logan Paul got, you know, a 1 of 1. And it's like, did you really just pull that 1 of 1? Like,
right.
Come on.
Yeah.
Nobody really
we should know. We should get a glimpse between, you know, that's the case for other advertisements, right? So if a company partners with a celebrity, it's transparent. You see like the ad symbol at the bottom of whatever they're posting. Like, it's transparent that obviously the celebrity is getting paid, but for NFTs, we haven't had that level of transparency. So it's definitely needed, because, you know, as soon as Paris Hilton or as soon as Justin Bieber shills a project, you've got millions of people who are like, oh, let me look into that. Let me buy into that because Justin says he's into it. And that's not, you know, that's not anything you want to play around with.
Okay. And Opensea is changing their stolen NFT policy. So once again, it's about time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They're trying to crack down. They're trying to, you know, do what they can to, you know, there's some bad players and they're trying to crack down on those. So one of the changes is that if you report an NFT stolen, you have to also submit a police report within 7 days. And so to me, this means that there are people who are reporting NFTs stolen who, and that whole story and what they claim may not be legitimate. So they're trying to crack down and have, you know, okay, if something's really stolen, go report it to the police and then come back to us. And it's going to make a lot of people unhappy. It's going to make a lot of people happy. You can't simply please everyone, but hopefully it's going to be reducing people on both sides, people from stealing the NFTs and people who are purchasing the NFTs, because that's the other factor, is that people who are purchasing NFTs innocently, not knowing that they're stolen, those NFTs will be given back if it is indeed found stolen. So that sucks for the person who simply went on the secondary market and bought the NFT not knowing that it was stolen. So it just sucks for everyone when this happens. And so obviously Opensea is taking steps, whether they're the right steps or the necessary steps, they're taking steps. That's all that matters.
But I mean, if something's stolen, then it should go back to the rightful owner, you know? And I feel like it's a good move for the overall industry. I mean,
yep.
because I thankfully I haven't had anything stolen as of yet, but I have friends that have. And I mean, I have a friend, Brian Fanso, who he had a bunch of his NFTs stolen. And, you know, it's like you want them to go back to the rightful owner. So,
yep, 100%. Yeah, it's good.
Fractional Rebrands raising 20 million to expand its collective NFT ownership.
Yeah. So for any listeners, fractional ownership essentially means that you can own a piece, just like it sounds, a piece of an NFT without having to own the whole thing. So kind of like you can own a piece of Bitcoin, but instead of, I can't afford a Bored Ape, but I can probably afford a 1/100th of a Bored Ape, right? And so there are companies who are DAOs where you can essentially invest your money in, and it basically pools the money and then gets distributed against, usually it's voted on what NFTs they purchase with it. So I can put in, say, $100, and then I can own a sliver of a Bored Ape if the DAO or if that company decides to buy a Bored Ape. So this is just simply, a leader in the space. Fractional was their name, and they're going to be rebranding to Sarah.
Which I don't know why. Like, to Sarah doesn't mean anything to me, whereas fractional makes sense. But
it totally makes sense. But they're using it as an opportunity to not only rebrand, but kind of redirect what they're doing. So it's interesting. But for anyone that's kind of like, oh, I want a Bored Ape, but I can't afford one, or I want a World of Women, or I want a CryptoPunk, the fractional ownership thing might be something you want to look into.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I just have to say, I'm glad you're back. I've missed you. It was, it was fun while you were gone, doing shows by myself and having guest hosts, but I'm really glad you're back because it just feels
so glad to be back. I very much missed you, and there will be episodes while you're traveling the world and getting to see the world. I'll be doing alone, so stay tuned for those.
Well, hopefully not. I'm like you did. We're gonna attempt. We'll see what happens. You never know when you're on the other side of the world if you'll have service or all that good stuff. So
I know all those things that you take for granted when you're at home and you've got your beautiful setup, but.
Exactly.
We'll make it work. Either way, we're not letting the Nifty Chicks down.
Right. But in the meantime, we want to make sure that you are following us on all these socials, because who knows, maybe I'll post some stuff from my travels, and you want to make sure you stay up to date with what's happening. You can find us at the Nifty Chicks. That is the Nifty NIFTY Chicks, CHICKS.
That's right. And as always, thank you so much for listening to the Nifty Chicks. Always remember, invest in yourself. You are worth it. Please listen carefully to the following disclaimer. Neither the host nor the guests of the Nifty Chicks podcast are acting in the capacity of financial advisors. We wish to remain transparent and impartial to the NFT community at all times, and therefore, the content provided by the Nifty Chicks hosts and guests are intended for general information purposes only. Nothing written or discussed by the Nifty Chicks hosts and guests should be construed or relied upon as investment, financial, legal, regulatory, accounting, tax, or similar advice. Nothing should be interpreted as a solicitation to invest in any cryptocurrency or NFT, and nothing herein should be construed as a recommendation to engage in any investment strategy or transaction. Please be advised that it is in your own best interest to consult with investment, legal, tax, or similar professionals regarding any specific situation and any prospective transaction decisions. You must do your own research when considering investing in cryptocurrencies or NFTs. We are simply sharing our journey with you as we learn more about the world of NFTs. Happy minting.